The decks we are trying out today both look very different than a format ago. We have Roaring Moon using the Poison package after losing cards like Dark Patch, Radiant Greninja, and Pokestop, versus a Miraidon EX deck with Pikachu EX and a teched copy of Galvantula EX that was submitted by a viewer. I'm going to win the coin flip and choose to go first. I'm going to start with Mew EX. I'm going to draw for turn and then bench a Roaring Moon and a Pecharunt. I'm going to attach an energy to the Roaring Moon and then pass the turn. John draws for turn and he has started Latias EX, which will give all his basic Pokemon free retreat. He benches a Magnemite before playing Earthen Vessel, discarding a Lightning energy to search for 2 energies from the deck. He gets a Lightning and a Grass energy. Pikachu EX needs Lightning, Grass, and Metal to be able to use its Topaz Bolt attack. John's going to pass the turn. On my turn, I get the second energy on the Roaring Moon and have to pass the turn back. John just passes back to me. Both having a pretty slow start in this game. I pass back again. We're both just trying to find what we need to be able to do anything. And we continue passing. I finally get the third dark energy. I'm going to consider if I want to have to use Frenzied Gouging because I wasn't able to find a stadium to be able to take an easy knockout on the Latias. I go ahead and do it by putting 200 damage on the Roaring Moon to knock out the Latias. On John's turn, he finds a Pokegear 3.0 that'll finally help him find a supporter and be able to start this game. He adds Arven to his hand. This will allow him to get a card like Nest Ball and get Miraidon online and actually fill up his bench. And for his tool card, he gets Sparkling Crystal. He goes ahead and plays the Nest Ball and then uses the Miraidon EX's Tandem Unit ability to get Pikachu EX and Joltik. Joltik's attack is one of the main energy accelerations for the deck. He puts Rescue Board on the Magnemite to be able to retreat it and then uses the Jolting Charge attack to get 2 Grass and 2 Lightning and attach to his Pokemon. Because of resources, he wants to put some of the energy on the Miraidon because it doesn't have to discard to attack like the Pikachu does. For 2 Lightning and a colorless, it can do 220 damage with its attack, which will be enough to take out the damaged Roaring Moon or the Mew EX. On my turn, I'm going to play Nest Ball. And I find Brute Bonnet. Its ability allows me to poison both actives if it has Ancient Booster Capsule on it. This helps play around the Pikachu's Resolute Heart ability. I have the tool card in hand, and I'm able to boss the Miraidon. With that, I'm going to go ahead and use Frenzied Gouging, knocking out both of our actives, putting me on 2 prize cards and John on 4. On his turn, he's able to attach an energy to the Pikachu and the Sparkling Crystal to take the knockout on the Mew EX, but this costs both of his energies attached. With cards like Crispin, though, he can be able to attack again the next turn. On my turn, I'm going to try to figure out a way to knock out the Pikachu. The poison from the Brute Bonnet will help with this, but I still need an attacker. I'm able to get Blood Moon and attach 1 energy and use Sada to get an energy on the Brute Bonnet, and I'm going to be able to energy switch it to the Pecharunt to be able to retreat it. This is going to allow me to win the game with the poison damage once I use the Brute Bonnet ability poisoning both our actives. In game 2, I'm going to make a pretty critical mistake. John took a mulligan and I got a little distracted by this. And so I'm going to play out my first turn as normal. But if you haven't noticed already, I didn't put out my prize cards. I've made quite a few actions already, playing Ultra Ball and drawing cards with the Mew EX. John's going to play out his turn also. And I just never catch this until it's way too late. He's going to go ahead and go through the motions on his turn using the Jolting Charge attack from the Joltik. Then on my turn, when I'm about ready to take a knockout, I realize there's no prize cards to take. So I'm going to have to forfeit this game since there's no other way to resolve it. So starting another game, I'm going to start with Roaring Moon. John starts with just the Magnemite, which is going to be pretty unfortunate for him in this game as it was the only basic that he opened up. Even though he's playing a deck that plays a lot of big basics, he opens up only this one. And this is going to allow me to do what the poison deck is known for. So I get the Brute Bonnet in play, and I'm just trying to find the Petron. I'm playing cards like Carmine and using the Muse restart ability to draw as many cards as possible. And I finally find the Petron and have the Petron EX to move it to the active and poison him for game. So we're going to play another game since the donk isn't a very fun way to finish the night. He's going to start with Petron and Brute Bonnet. He has the tool card in hand, he just hadn't attached it yet, which is a requirement to use its poison ability. He's going to play Nest Ball to get Roaring Moon. The poison is going to be able to go ahead and take care of the Pikachu EX's Resolute Heart ability. So he's going to pass the turn, and I'll take 60 damage from the poison due to the Petron doing an extra 50 damage. I'm going to bench Miraidon and Latias EX before playing Ultra Ball. I'm going to get Mew EX since my hand resources are getting pretty low. It'll allow me to draw some cards later. I use Tandem Unit to go ahead and get just Joltik, saving my last bench space after I bench the Mew EX, because I had another Pikachu in hand that I want to get ready. I use the Mew EX to draw. I'm going to retreat into the Joltik and attach an energy before playing Research to draw a full new hand. I use the Jolting Charge attack to go ahead and get 4 energy from the deck. 2 grass and 2 lightning. I'm going to do the same as John earlier and put 2 lightning and a grass on the Miraidon and just a grass on the Pikachu. John's going to poison the Joltik and just pass his turn knocking it out. Since it was knocked out during checkup, I won't be able to use an ability like Pheasantipity EX to draw any cards. I promote the Pikachu that has a little bit of damage on it. I'm going to play Arven as my supporter for turn. I get Counter Catcher and Sparkling Crystal. The Counter Catcher is live since John took the knockout on the Joltik. And attaching an energy and the crystal to the Pikachu and retreating for free because of Latias, I am going to be able to take an attack. I Counter Catcher the Roaring Moon and bench Magnemite so I'll be able to get energy in play later. And with Topaz Bolt, I take the knockout on the Roaring Moon in the first 2 prizes of the game. John's going to play Perilous Jungle, which does an extra 20 damage to poison Pokemon during checkup. Specifically non-dark Pokemon, so it won't affect most of John's Pokemon. He's going to play Earthen Vessel to find some dark energy. Now he's playing Ultra Ball, discarding 2 cards to find any Pokemon from his deck. He gets Pheasantipity EX. And since I took a knockout last turn, he will be able to use its ability. He plays Sada first, putting 2 dark energy into play. Attaches to Roaring Moon for the turn. And goes ahead and uses the Brute Bonnet to poison our Pokemon. He then uses Flip the Script to draw 3 cards. He puts Booster Capsule on the Roaring Moon, which will give it an extra 60 HP. And then plays Night Stretcher to put another Roaring Moon in play. Looks like he doesn't have a way to switch and be able to do any attacks this turn, so he's just going to pass the turn, and we add the poison damage during checkup. His Petron has 80 HP, so it's still safe from knocking itself out for a while. I'm going to use the Magnemite ability to knock itself out and get 3 lightning energy from the discard pile and attach them to my lightning Pokemon. So I put 2 on the active Pikachu since it has the Sparkling Crystal and 1 on the benched to get it lined up for an attack later. I have Boss's Order as my supporter to be able to take another 2 prize knockout on the Roaring Moon. John promotes his Roaring Moon EX that's on the bench, and then plays Sada, getting 2 darkness energy from the discard pile to draw 3 cards. He attaches 1 for turn and then uses Energy Switch to be able to fully power it up. And due to the poison damage, he can take out the attack with Calamity Storm without even discarding a Stadium because the Pikachu's already taken 110 damage. And that's exactly what he's going to do, putting us both at 2 prize cards. I promote the Pikachu and all I need is an energy, so when I play the Crispin, that's enough for John to concede the game.